doing, everybody, and welcome to Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage. Well, folks, Rogan was here yesterday. I got Austin back today. Austin's here. He heard about all the free agency news going on in the NFL, and he's like, hey, I got to jump back on. I got to get on and talk about this. So, Austin, how we doing? It's Tuesday. It's a good Tuesday. How we doing today with all this news heading around?
Yeah, all the news with the Packers, I'm like, I haven't been on since we've talked about the Packers last. I mean, I feel like seems like it's been a while. It seems probably since they played last or the Super Bowl or whatever. But there's been a lot of commotion. It's free agency day, Trage. And I'm like, there's a lot of things happening, especially with the Packers. A lot of drama, you might say. I don't know. We'll get into it. But yeah, it's my spring break, so I got a little bit of time here, and I'm like, let's hop on. Let's see what Trajan's is up to over in good old Marshfield. So no, I'm glad I could join.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic. And well, like you said, yesterday was a lot of drama every which way with the Green Bay Packers. First and foremost, I want to look at a couple of the releases that the Packers had. David Bakhtiari was let go by Green Bay. I think, to me, fantastic. I thought that was a good move by the Packers. Now, it sucks because, I mean, everybody saw David Bakhtiari's leaving his speech and everything like that. And it sucked to see David Bakhtiari go. But at the same time, the Packers saved, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was around $20 million on David Bakhtiari off that cap. So you take your wins with your losses. We haven't been able to keep David Bakhtiari healthy. When he's healthy, when he was out there, he's an all-pro. He's a very good lineman for Green Bay, but the question marks were always there. Where are you going to get him? Was he going to be healthy? Was he going to be ready to go? You never had the answer for that. The Packers, sadly, I mean, it sucks, but the business side, you had to get rid of him. So, I mean, Austin, initial reactions, David Bakhtiari, the Packers finally say, enough's enough. We got to cut ties.
I think, Trage, at least you and I have been talking about this for a while now, where once David Bakhtiari got hurt, we kind of knew it was kind of over. And you saw how much he kind of took away from our cap. And he's been getting hurt almost every year. I think we kind of saw this coming, that the Packers did just fine without him, too. We had one of the best O-linemen, or best offensive linemen, probably arguably in the league. So definitely good to see that we're able to kind of move on, I guess you could say.
So David Bakhtiari is let go by the Green Bay Packers. And yeah, I mean, 100%, that was a little bit of the drama there. Sucked to see David Bakhtiari get let go there. Also, another guy that was let go by the Green Bay Packers was Devondre Campbell. This was an interesting one to me. I was hit or miss with Devondre Campbell. I liked him, but at the same time, it was like, I can live without the guy. He's not very good in coverage. He played solid at times for Green Bay. Well, wasn't crazy good for the Green Bay Packers. You thought maybe they would want to go in a different way anyways, now with new defensive coordinator there, Heffley. So Campbell, you also save on the cap there, getting rid of Devondre Campbell. Austin, I don't know if the defense got worse. I know now you have a hole you have to fill, but I don't know if you actually got that much worse with Devondre Campbell walking out the door.
No, and I think the Packers were looking to draft a middle linebacker possibly anyways. And Campbell's kind of getting up there in age. So he also got hurt too. You got to think about it like that too. So definitely not a bad release. And it didn't seem like he was too happy playing with the Packers at the end of his career with the Packers there either. So definitely not a bad release, I guess you could say there.
Yeah, and I mean, they saved $10 million on the cap space there. You're saving money with Devondre Campbell walking out the door. Not a bad deal at all, I would say, for Green Bay. Now, the last release that I wanted to talk about, and I never truthfully thought that I was going to have to talk about it, was Aaron Jones walking out of Green Bay. This one kind of hit me different, right? I mean, Bakhtiari was one thing, his heartfelt Twitter message that he sent out. I mean, you felt something there. Campbell, I mean, as much as people hated him, loved him, whatever it was, still sucks to see a guy leave. But Aaron Jones, I mean, this guy, when he was healthy, I don't know if many could have argued he wasn't a top running back in the National Football League. He played as good as anybody else when he was out there. And to see him walk out the door in this fashion, another fashion where I believe the Packers tried to adjust Jones' contract once again. They tried to adjust his contract again. He had a cap hit more than 17.5. Couldn't agree on something, so they free up about $5 million in cap space. I mean, you freed up $5 million with getting rid of Aaron Jones, and we're going to talk about the addition they made in the running back room, but you freed up that room, but at the same time, it's like, this was an instrumental piece. This was a guy who I believe he kept this offense together when they were at a low point this year, when it seemed like the whole thing was about to blow up in their faces. They ended up keeping it together there. Aaron Jones comes back and they recorded, I think it was like 5 or so 100-plus yard games for Green Bay. Now I'm seeing that the Vikings are interested in Aaron Jones along with the Dallas Cowboys. This one sucked. I don't know how I feel about it. I get it from a business standpoint. He was getting older. You got a younger guy by a little bit there in Josh Jacobs. We're going to talk about that deal in a second here, but you got Josh Jacobs. I get that. But at the same time, it's like, this was your guy. This was the guy. He took pay cut after pay cut just to stay in Green Bay. And he stayed loyal. I mean, Aaron Rodgers left. He could have said, I'm out of here too. I don't want to deal with this crap. I don't want to deal with a rebuild or a reboot. As you could say, he could have said, I'm out of here too. But guess what? He stuck it out. And to watch him walk away for a difference of the Packers saving $5 million on the cap, I don't know. It sucks. It does suck. Austin, what do you think? What did you think of that Aaron Jones release?
Well, first off, when we signed Jacobs, I instantly thought, see you later, A.J. Dillon. That's what I thought. I'm like, no way A.J. Dillon's going to stay on the team now. We got two, arguably not the best, but we got two that'd be a lethal duo. Those are both two starting running backs. And so now one's your starter, one's your second running back, who are very good. But instead, I guess the Packers went a different route and released Aaron Jones there. My question is, I'm not really good at like knowing contracts and everything like that. My question is, could we have released A.J. Dillon and maybe give a little bit of that money to Aaron Jones now? Maybe that would have worked out a little bit like that. But instead, I guess we just decided to release Aaron Jones. It is disappointing. Back to David Bakhtiari, I just saw he was with the Packers for 11 years. Aaron Jones with the Packers for 7 years. Some of these vets are gone. I mean, this is going to be a brand new Packers team next year with now a lot of young guys. Because Aaron Jones was one of the older guys, I guess you could say, that's been with the Packers for years now. And that's kind of what we were saying, that everyone's basically younger, like 2 years or younger with playing experience, except for Aaron Jones. Well, now he's gone. I mean, obviously, Josh Jacobs has played quite a bit too, but not with the Packers. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. But yeah, definitely, I'd say Aaron Jones leaving is definitely way more sad than David Bakhtiari, considering I kind of figured that David Bakhtiari was going to be gone at the end of this year, but definitely not Aaron Jones being gone there.
No, and Bakhtiari, you never saw him anyway, so you forgot about him.
Kind of just forgot about him there, and seems like he was always on that scooter, just scooting around. I mean, he wasn't really doing a whole lot there. So
no, not at all. And I mean, so like you just said there, you could have moved some money, but you also did sign a 4-year deal worth $48 million with Josh Jacobs. So you bring in this guy from the Raiders. Now, I just saw his stats. I just wanted to check him out here. He had from 2019 to 2023, he had 72 starts, 1,305 rushes for over 5,500 yards and 46 touchdowns, 137 receptions or 197 receptions for just under 1,500 yards. He's a good running back. Dude's solid. But at the end of the day, the only way you can look at it is if Aaron Jones wasn't going to take a pay cut, you couldn't afford to pay both of them X amount of dollars. I mean, that was about, $12 million they'd be paying to Josh Jacobs there. You can't afford to be paying this much to Aaron Jones there and also double down and end up paying basically as much to another running back in that backfield, especially when you have Emmanuel Wilson out there yet. They thought they had promise in Emmanuel Wilson. Maybe he steps in now. You also have the draft coming up. You got a lot of draft picks. The Packers do. Maybe they spend one on a running back. Maybe they try to fill that position through the draft there or add another piece there in the backfield to see what happens. I mean, it definitely sucks. Not a guy that I expected to leave Green Bay. We talked about it. We talked about the possibility, but we've all said, I mean, we said it here a while ago. We're like, no way. No way you get rid of Aaron Jones. That's your guy. He's been that guy in Green Bay, the mainstay, right? One of the guys that's he's been injury prone, but reliable to be on this team at season's end. And, well, there he goes. There he goes. And it's a brand new day in Green Bay, right? So, like I was just saying there, Josh Jacobs, though, coming to the Packers, $48 million deal for 4 years. He brings experience. Very good running back. Now you put him with a good quarterback there in Jordan Love and the weapons they have in Green Bay. You give him an offensive line to work with. We could see a very good running back here in Green Bay and Josh Jacobs. That's all I got to say with that. Josh Jacobs could turn out to be fantastic for the Packers. We could also miss Aaron Jones a lot. We don't know. We don't know where it's going to lead there. But, I mean, Austin, my initial reaction was I had Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs. I was like, the best 1-2 punch in the league right here. Now we lose Aaron Jones, but we still got Josh Jacobs, right? So what's the feeling now with Josh Jacobs coming to Green Bay?
Yeah, like you were just saying, and like I said before, I was expecting A.J. Dillon to be gone and kind of the best 1-2 punch in the league, but instead we kind of just replace Aaron Jones with Josh Jacobs, which Josh Jacobs is a pretty good running back. I don't think he had the greatest line with the Raiders. I think the Packers' offensive line is a little bit better. I did see that Jon Runyon did sign with a different team, which hits Giants. A little harder with the Giants.
I believe he got a big deal. It was like $30 million
$3 million. Or no, I don't even know what it is. I was going to say 3 years.
It was like 30 million or something like that.
Yeah, 30 million. So good for him. But he was a good O-lineman, so it makes sense why he got that. But I think the Packers are going to draft someone, an O-lineman anyways, in the earlier rounds, I'd say. But back to Jacobs, really good running back. He has gotten injured a couple times, but it seems like he's always been there for the Raiders. And the last time the Packers had an Alabama running back was Eddie Lacy, and Eddie Lacy was pretty good until he got fat. So, we know what to expect from an Alabama running back. You look at Derrick Henry, you look at who we had in Eddie Lacy. This is going to be a good running back for us. And like you said, he's a little bit younger than Aaron Jones, which probably went into the decision-making on to cut Aaron Jones. Because now these days about running backs, age is everything. And to have a really good younger running back, even if it is by 1 year, probably makes or breaks the deal. And clearly this one made the deal here because it's 4 years. So they probably saw something in Josh Jacobs that they didn't see in Aaron Jones, which sucks to say, but that's just the NFL's a business. So he's a Packer now, and hopefully he kind of lives up to being a Packer these next 4 years.
I just don't want to see Aaron Jones in Minnesota.
Yeah, that'd be brutal.
I really don't. He's gonna eat us alive. I just know that he will eat Green Bay alive, and that's just gonna happen.
I can see him going to the Cowboys. I can see that. Considering the Cowboys just got rid of Chris Pollard, didn't get rid of him, but he's now on the Titans, so they don't really have a running back for them. So I can see him going, especially since Aaron Jones kind of tortured the Cowboys for the past how many years. So I can see him going there. Big market too, so probably a lot of money there.
100%. 100% agree with you there. Hey,
and in Texas too. That's where Aaron Jones is from. So
the dude balls out at AT&T Stadium. That's all we know there. So we'll be interested to see what Aaron Jones' future holds for him there. But hey, before we move on here, I want to mention a few of our sponsors here. First, your hometown team, Century 21 Gold Key Realty. Call Peggy Sawyer Anna to find your dream home, or if you're looking to sell, Find them on Facebook at your hometown team, Century 21 Gold Key Realty, or stop in and see them at their location in Marshfield. Also, Sports Scene, sports cards, and memorabilia. At the store there in the Marshfield Mall, they serve you anything from sports cards, memorabilia, jerseys, model stock cars. They got it all down there. Talk to Al down at Sports Scene in Marshfield, in the Marshfield Mall. Also, Pittsfield Farm and Home Center. At the store, they serve you anything from hydraulic hoses to red roses. Stop in and see the awesome crew at Pittsfield Farm and Home Center in Pittsfield, Wisconsin. With that, Austin, we got another one. I believe this was the biggest signing for the Packers all day long. Xavier McKinney, the safety from the New York Giants, is coming to the Green Bay Packers there on a 4-year, $68 million deal. It's $17 million per year. Now, actually, I did see a stipulation in there. $25 million of that will be paid in year one. So 25 will be off the books there in year one. Then the contract will get lesser and lesser as they go on. So good news for the Packers, more money to spend down the road there. Puts them in a spot for this year, right? Kind of running out of money to spend here in free agency. But this is the guy, right? The best player available at the safety position this year, I believe, this offseason. And, I mean, safety position going into this next draft, there's some prospects in this next draft here, but nothing great, right? Cooper DeJean's out there. He's a good safety, but he's not fantastic, right? McKinney's that guy. He retools this defense for him. I mean, the Packers didn't really go after the safety position last year. They kind of stuck with Darnell Savage and Keyshawn Nixon out there. They did also have Jonathan Owens floating around in there, and they had other pieces here and there, but McKinney kind of solidifies the back end of this defense right now. And I love this signing by Green Bay. I would say, honestly, this is an A-plus signing by the Packers here. So, I mean, Austin, defensively, we got Heffley now in charge. He wants more of a, I mean, we're going to get after you kind of mentality. McKinney fits that bill at 100%. So initial reactions, Packers get Xavier McKinney coming to Green Bay now.
Yeah, I didn't really know a whole lot about him considering he was on the Giants, and Giants were kind of a stinker team last year. But as what I've been hearing, Xavier McKinney is kind of the bright spot of that team, and especially that defense there. I was just taking a look at his stats, and he played in all 17 games, had 116 total tackles, 78 of those are solos, and 3 interceptions there. And then in 2021, he had 5 interceptions where he played all 17 games there. 2022, he only played 9 games, so probably got a little bit of an injury bug there. But besides that, last year, definitely one of his better years as a safety, as a player. And I think we're getting him right as he started to become really, really good. Like one of the best players in the league. Like you said, he was one of the best players at his position. And this is a great sign. Definitely, I did not see this coming. We saw the Josh Jacobs signing. Didn't see that one coming. Then this one happened. Did not see this one coming. But definitely a really good pickup considering we just lost Darnell Savage there, which kind of sucks because I have his jersey. So now I got to figure out – I got to get a new Packer jersey. But I just thought Savage was pretty cool because Savage, he's a savage. But he's gone off to the Jags now. But, I mean, I think this was a really good fill-in – not even a fill-in, a really good pickup to replace Savage, who had his ups and downs. But Xavier McKinney definitely flying around, going to be making a lot of plays for the Packers, hopefully, as long as he stays healthy there for us. And definitely a very good signing. It does bring into question what are we going to do when it comes to drafting players in the draft. Are we going to still go with – I've seen a lot of mock drafts saying we might go with Cooper DeJean there, who I think would play corner for us. I don't even think he would play safety. I think he would play corner. And that'd be an interesting pick, but it does raise some questions on who we're going to pick with our first pick. Maybe we might even trade back a little bit there and get some more picks. I don't know, but definitely a very good signing there for the Packers.
I think a lot's going to depend, and this is going to be a big question if you ask me. We know Darnell Savage, like you were talking earlier, he's gone. Who'd you say? Where did Darnell end up? Where did he end up?
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jacksonville there. So Savage is gone, but Keyshawn Nixon is still out there. I mean, Keyshawn, yes, he's technically a corner, but he's kind of all around for you. Do the Packers bring back Keyshawn Nixon? I think that's going to affect a lot what they do in this upcoming draft here. We know the offensive line's still in question. If you are Green Bay, you lost John Runyon, and I thought Yaiman was out there. Yash Nyman was also a tackle, was also in the free agent loop for Green Bay. So you lost two guys there, and John Runyon and Yaiman there on the offensive line. It's going to really depend to me. Who do you bring back free agent wise? Are you still looking at Keyshawn Nixon? Is he a possibility? He's not. He's usually a corner for him, so still not in that safety room. But like you said, Cooper DeJean, does he fit the safety bill for you, or is he going to be more of that guy? I don't know. Do you throw him in a nickel? I don't know where you throw Cooper DeJean out there because the guy. I mean, Cooper DeJean's all over the place. That's a guy that I would like to be flying in the backfield, to be honest with you. He's not, I'm not asking Cooper DeJean to be my drop back coverage guy. I'm asking this guy to fly around and make plays for me. And is he going to fit the bill in Green Bay now that you have Xavier McKinney coming in now? Is Keyshawn Nixon? I mean, Austin, are you bringing Keyshawn Nixon back to the Green Bay Packers now? Or are you trying to fix this thing and kind of keep working in the draft and see what you can find?
I thought Keyshawn was a pretty good player for us. Cooper DeJean, he can return too. I mean, he's one of the fastest players in the draft class among all players there. One of the fastest. But Keyshawn Nixon, he's been with the Packers. I don't think we're going to get rid of him. I'm reading this article on ESPN here, and it only mentions two other safeties who play significant snaps for the Packers, and that's Jonathan Owens and Rudy Ford, who are both free agents. So when it comes to safeties, it doesn't even mention Keyshawn Nixon. He's kind of that nickel corner, I want to say, kind of what you were saying there. But he also has a factor in the return game. Now, last year, did he do as good as it seemed like he did the year before that? It seemed like the year before that he kind of just went off crazy when he had two returns there. And then this past year, it didn't seem like he did a whole lot, but he still won first team All-Pro returner there. So definitely really effective in the return game when it comes to special teams, which is a huge part of football now. So I think they still bring him back just because really good special teamers. And he was also pretty reliable when it came to the defensive side. And now that we got Xavier McKinney back there to help, I think sometimes when Darnell Savage was back there, things got a little mixed up on what was going on. But now we got new D coordinator, a new safety, a better safety, I'd say. And I think we're going to bring back Keyshawn Nixon for next year.
Plus, I mean, you're going to have most likely a healthy Jair Alexander. Jair Alexander will be coming healthy this next season. So that takes a lot of the load off of Keyshawn Nixon, too. You're going to have Alexander healthy. You'll have McKinney back there. This defense, the secondary, solid. They get solid pretty dang fast. And also, I mean, you have your rookie guys, right? Or your second-year guys now in Ballantyne and Valentine out there. Both good pieces. Do they develop a little bit here? It's going to be interesting to see what the Packers really do with that first-round pick now. I mean, I've heard of them still interested in skill position. They're still interested in the wide receiver room. I don't know if you take a year off in the wide receiver room. I wouldn't touch them until late, but I've heard they're interested in there. In the tackle position, they're also looking at the line there in that first round. Maybe they trade up. Maybe they trade back. I mean, it's going to be definitely interesting to see what Brian Gutekunst decides to do there with that first round pick. Now that, I mean, they have a ridiculous amount of picks coming up. I saw their comp pick. I believe they moved. I saw it the other day there, and I just was going to mention it here. Do you have, by chance, the Packers draft picks up on your screen right now?
I don't have them on my screen, but I know they got those three compensatory picks there. 1 7th, 1 6th, and 1 5th round, I'm pretty sure. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11 picks, I believe. So,
yeah, I was gonna say it was something around that. I saw the one they got. Lazard got him a 5th round pick, I believe.
yeah,
That was that comp pick. There was the 5th round, and to lose Lazard and get a 5th round,
I'll take it.
I'm good with that. I'm good with that all day long.
I'll take it.
That's solid. Yeah, that's solid 100%. So, I mean, Packers will be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what they do here in free agency yet. I mean, there's still pieces they got to move on, right? There's still some I don't know where I don't know where they're at cap wise right now. I believe they had I believe it was at like 40 some before they went on these last two deals. So they're sitting with a little bit less now to move around money wise, depending on if they cut anybody else. I mean, I was surprised by Aaron Jones' cut. So I don't know if they're going to cut somebody else on this roster yet. It's definitely still up in the air there. I mean, you replaced Darnell Savage with Xavier McKinney and Aaron Jones with Josh Jacobs. I think you got better through day one of free agency. I think you got better both ways. I hate seeing Aaron Jones go, but at the same time, it's a solid ad in Josh Jacobs, right? You look at it as a bad thing. Aaron Jones is gone, but you also look at the good with Josh Jacobs coming to Green Bay. I think it's solid there. But you lost Devondre Campbell, David Bakhtiari, Keyshawn Nixon, John Runyon, and A.J. Dillon. You got a lot of pieces yet you got to fill in. It's definitely going to be crazy. I mean, we haven't even hit the signing period, right? This is just the legal tampering period right now. And we see all these crazy deals happening already. Imagine when the signing period starts. We're going to see all these guys get inked, and it's going to be exciting. But hey, before we move on here, we got more to talk about in the NFL. We gotta go through the whole scope of things here in NFL free agency. But before we move on, I want to mention a couple more of our sponsors here. First, Game Day Supply in Onalaska. Do you have a sports club or team? Are you looking for some sweet custom uniforms or apparel? Check out the awesome crew at Game Day Supply to help your team get the sweetest gear. Find them on Facebook at Game Day Supply or online at GameDaySupply.net. Also, Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood. If you've been hurt recently, whether at work, whether it was on the field, on the basketball court, wherever it was, and you need some physical therapy, stop in there and see Chad at Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood. He'll get you right. He'll get you back to work, back out on the field, back out on the court, wherever it is. He'll get you right and back out there. Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin. But hey, with that, we got to stick with the NFL. It's been crazy, Austin. It has been crazy, some of the stuff that's been going on in NFL free agency. And I got to say, the biggest one to me had to be Kirk Cousins to the Falcons. That had to be the most, I mean, I tell you what, Kirk Cousins, at the end of this, if he makes all the money he's supposed to in this contract, he's going to make over $400 million just in all the contracts that he's made. A guy who won one playoff game is going to make over $400 million. Now, I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is a very good quarterback. Okay, I shouldn't say very good. There's a spectrum, right? Patrick Mahomes is probably your top right now. And at the bottom of it, I would say probably like, I don't know, Daniel Jones would be at the bottom. Mac Jones. There we go. Mac Jones. He'd be your bottom, right? Patrick Mahomes, Mac Jones.
Daniel Jones would probably be back there too if you want to, but yeah.
Daniel Jones is definitely back there. But, I mean, Kirk Cousins is solid. Before he got hurt this year, he was fantastic through week 8 for the Vikings. He gets injured. That season goes derailment. He signs with the Falcons 4 years, $180 million, $45 mil per year, $100 million total guaranteed through those 4 years. $100 million guaranteed. This is a 30... I believe Kirk Cousins is like 35? He's got to be 35, 38 by now.
Yeah,
do you know that one off the top of your head?
I don't know how old he is, but I know he's been in the league for a while. I'm pretty sure, however old Russell Wilson is too, I'm pretty sure they came in the league at the same time because I remember that one game when he was on Michigan State and they played against each other. Russell Wilson was with Wisconsin.
Okay.
They're old, Trage. I know that much. So for him getting $180 million, 100 of it guaranteed, and who knows? He's since the Achilles tear, he's made of glass at this point, Trage. I mean, one bad hit, he could be looking like Aaron Rodgers out for the whole year. Still going to get the $100 million though because it's guaranteed. Hopefully the Falcons didn't get themselves into kind of like a Carson Wentz situation here, where they kind of guaranteed him a whole bunch of $1 million. And then Carson Wentz kind of bounced around from team to team, but the Phillies the Eagles still had to pay Carson Wentz because of that guaranteed money. Hopefully Kirk Cousins is able to stay with the Falcons all 4 years and be healthy. I kind of like Kirk Cousins. I mean, he was on the Vikings, so I kind of didn't like him, but he's a good guy. As I watched that, what was that documentary on Netflix, Quarterback, that I think Peyton
Yep.
Manning made or something. And honestly, a really good guy there in Kirk Cousins. So good to see him get money. Is it going to be worth it? I don't know that for the Atlanta Falcons. I don't know if it's going to be worth it. Like you said, one playoff win there for him, and it's going to be interesting. But good for Kirk Cousins, I guess.
The dude knows how to capitalize on bad teams needing a quarterback, right? I mean, the Vikings, bad. They needed a quarterback. They signed Kirk Cousins. Now you look at this. He goes to the Falcons. They're in desperate need of a quarterback. Here he comes. Here comes Kirk. Now my question is, going off of the Kirk Cousins, we heard Justin Fields name a lot going to the Atlanta Falcons. What happens with Justin Fields now? I mean, who wants Justin Fields? Who is going to be that team who's going to say, hey, we'll take him off your name because we think we can do something with this guy? What is Justin Fields worth at the end of the day? That's my $1 million question. What is he worth to other teams? I believe right now, playing wise, he's like a fifth, maybe a fifth or sixth round pick, maybe for Justin Fields, maybe a couple. I don't know. He's nothing high. He hasn't played well enough to be anything high. I don't know. The Bears kind of got put in a spot. Don't you think the Bears kind of got put in a spot here with Kirk Cousins now going to the Falcons? The quarterback need now is kind of slimming down.
Yeah, and I saw maybe possibly Raiders looking at it. Now the Vikings need a quarterback too, though. I mean, the Vikings don't got anyone now except for Spaceman, I forget his name, who they signed from the Cardinals.
Oh, shoot. Yep.
I can see it in my head, but I forget the name. And he had like 3 good
Yes.
games, and that was it. But you find his name. But yeah, they're put in a tough position here. What are they going to do with Justin Fields? Now they still have the number one over Dobbs.
Joshua Dobbs. Yes.
Dobbs. I guess they got him and the other 2 guys that played once Kirk got hurt. But besides that,
They were bad. They were bad.
They were bad. Like, you need a different quarterback. Is Justin Fields going to be that guy? I don't know. The Bears have the number 1 overall pick. Do you give that to someone else and keep Fields, or do you try and trade Fields and get? I don't know what he's worth. He hasn't done anything really. I mean, even Tyson Bagent played a little bit better than Justin Fields a couple of them games there for the Bears when Justin Fields got hurt. So it's a good question. That is $100 million question, and I'm not going to get $100 million today, and probably never. But it's a good question, Tridge. It is a good question.
I just haven't seen Justin Fields with an offensive line. If the Bears had a good team and Justin Fields sucked, then I could solidify and say, this guy actually sucks. But I feel like the book is still not written on what Justin Fields can do in the NFL. They haven't given him that. They did get pieces. They had Darnell Mooney, and who is the other receiver there with the Bears? Good receiver with the Bears there. DJ Moore this last season. But other than that, I mean, running back room, they didn't really have a running back. Offensive line was terrible. The defense wasn't bad. The front for the defense was great. I mean, they had the best rush defense in the NFL. But, I mean, it's like Mac Jones with the Patriots. And we can talk about that one here in a second. But it's like Mac Jones with the Patriots. Did they ever give Mac Jones a very good team to work with? Did they ever give him weapons at the wide receiver room to actually say, hey, Mac Jones sucks? I mean, we don't know. We'll never know. Yes, he didn't do great after that first year when he went 10-7. But I don't know. I look at guys, it's like Jordan Love in Green Bay, right? We wanted to see what Jordan Love could do when the receivers started to play well. And we saw what Jordan Love did when the receivers started to play well for him. Everything was getting ran right. Everything looked good. The Bears were a mess the whole time. Is that a reason why Justin Fields hasn't blossomed? We'll never know. We'll never know if the Bears do not take, if they take Caleb Williams with that 1, we'll never know. But Vikings got the 11 pick. Do you go for a quarterback there? Bo Nix? Is Bo Nix still on the board there? Michael Penix Jr. might still be on the board. I like Michael Penix. I don't like lefty QBs. I think he's kind of undersized still. Michael Penix Jr. It worries me with his size, but, the guy's got a gun. He's got an arm, and, man, he can sling it around. He's smart. He's smart as a whip. So is Bo Nix. maybe that's a guy we could see going to the Minnesota Vikings and they make it work. I mean, if you're the Vikings, let's just say it. I mean, you're the Vikings right now. We don't want to be Vikings because we don't like the Vikings, but we're Vikings right now. Do we want to trade for, let's just say, Justin Fields? Or are we looking in the draft? Are we saying, hey, Bo Nix might still be available? I don't know if Michael Penix. You never know. The draft could get crazy, and there could be somebody available they want there, somebody good in that room, or they might be able to move up in the draft, right? There's still that possibility they could move up. The Falcons now have their quarterback in Kirk Cousins. Did I just say the Vikings? The Falcons now have their quarterback in Kirk Cousins. Do the Falcons say, hey, we'll swap with you, 11 for 8. You give us something else on top of that. Now they move up to the 8 spot. What are they doing there? Because you look down the board here, the Bears, they got the 1 pick. If they take a quarterback, so be it. Commanders will probably take a quarterback. So will the Patriots. Cardinals, they have Kyler Murray. They're not taking a quarterback. Chargers, not taking a quarterback. I don't know if the Giants could take a quarterback after saying they signed Daniel Jones to all that money. They would look like, idiots if they draft a quarterback now and say, Daniel Jones, you're taking a bench seat. Titans, I don't know how they feel about Will Levis, but I imagine the Titans either probably not looking in that quarterback room. Falcons now got Kirk Cousins. Bears, if they go with a quarterback in that first pick, they're not looking. And then you have the Jets. The Jets aren't looking for a QB. They got Aaron Rodgers. Vikings might have a shot for quarterback. I mean, where are you leaning? Are you going with not a proven guy, but a guy that you've seen in the NFL already in Justin Fields, or are you leaning towards the draft if you are the Minnesota Vikings?
Yeah, I feel like the Vikings are just another version of the Bears. They don't really have a good old line. They had some guys, but overall, they probably had just a mid line. And they probably have better weapons than the Bears, like Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and KJ Osborne there. But I think they're going to test the draft here. There's a lot of good quarterback options in the draft. Michael Penix, I heard, did pretty good at the combine there and showed potential. I also saw like the first 3 players off the board, like 1, 2, 3 are all quarterbacks there in Caleb Williams, then Drake May, and then Jane Daniels there. So those 3 guys are probably going to be gone. But like you said, Bo Nix, Michael Penix, there's going to be potential for them to get drafted there at possibly the 11th spot, or like you said, maybe move up to the 8th spot there. Now that the Falcons have their quarterback, they can probably drop back at least to the 8th and draft and still get who they want, depending on what they want. But I think Minnesota is going to try and get someone in the draft here. I don't really think they're going to get Justin Fields. I think it would be crazy for the Bears to even trade them to the Minnesota Vikings, considering it's a divisional opponent. But I've seen crazier things happen, I guess. So I don't know.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see what the Vikings do. But hey, NFC North rival there, the Bears, they got their running back. DeAndre Swift is now going to Chicago here. 3 years, $24 million there, 15.3 guaranteed. They fixed the running back room, I believe, with DeAndre Swift. I think he adds a little bit of experience and a good running back there with the Eagles. I don't know. I like the signing for the Bears. If I'm a Bears fan, I like the signing here. You get a solid running back in DeAndre Swift. Now you have that piece figured out. Now you can look for offensive line help. You can look possibly for quarterback help. Were other weapons that they need. I mean, Austin, how you feeling about the Bears? I mean, we don't like the Bears. We hate the Bears, right? The Bears suck, right? But how do we feel about DeAndre Swift to the Bears there if you are a Bears fan right now?
It's a good pickup, considering you barely had a running back at all last year. I don't even know who it was, their running back last year, but I'm pretty sure.
Was it Herbert?
Herbert, and I think he got hurt. He was hurt for a lot of the year.
Yeah.
But when he was there, he was a pretty good running back. But when he wasn't, they had Roshan Johnson, I think, and he wasn't that good. Wasn't very impressive. DeAndre Swift going to Philly kind of sparked up his potential again. When he was with the Lions, he was all right, but we didn't really hear about him. Went to the Philadelphia Eagles there and had a pretty good year and a few good years there where I don't know how long he was there for, but he had a good career while he was with the Eagles there. I think this is a good signing for the Bears on getting like a good running back here. Um, Seems like they haven't really had one. They had Montgomery there for a while, who's pretty good for them. Now he's on the Lions, obviously, but now they're going to get DeAndre Swift, who was once a Lion. So it kind of seems like they just traded the two there. I mean, Montgomery with the Lions and now Swift with the Bears. It's weird how things work out that way, but definitely a good signing for the Bears there, I'd say.
It's definitely going to be interesting because you came from the Eagles with a very good offensive line. Now you got the Bears, who, if they do get better, they're going to get younger, right, before they get better. So how does DeAndre Swift transfer from having a great O-line to now? We're going to see how that works for the Bears. The Lions, they've been quiet so far. From what I've seen, the Lions have been quiet. They made a trade on Monday here. They traded, I believe they added Marcus Davenport there, a pass rusher. He was with the Saints. He's a first-round pick by the Saints in 2018, employed by Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn. Let's just see. He had 9 sacks in 11 games in 2021, and other than that, he's been bad. So Lions get a pass rusher there and Marcus Davenport, and then they also got a cornerback in Carlton Davis there, traded with Tampa Bay and got him. They traded a 3rd-round pick to Tampa for Carlton Davis and a 2024 and 2025 6th-round picks there. So trade a little bit there. They got some pieces. The Lions are getting there. Packers, I believe, right now in the NFC North, they've made the most noise. They're trying to put a team together and get ready to run next year. It is crazy what's happening right now in the NFL free agency. Austin, anything you got to add here before we end for the day?
Just Russell Wilson now on the Pittsburgh Steelers for 1 year. Did not see that one coming, but I mean, obviously Denver did not want him, and I guess he's gonna play 1 more year there for Pittsburgh. And that questions what's Kenny Pickett gonna do there now? I don't know. Probably move with the Jaguars. That's kind of seems like where every backup quarterback that's kind of just getting thrown out to the trash cans going. So Russell Wilson there. Now on the Steelers. That's kind of all I got, though.
Kenny Pickett, 3rd-string quarterback behind Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence. That'd be a solid ad there for.
Hell of a trio right there. Hell of a trio.
You can't beat it. I mean, you got solid behind solid, right? I mean, it would be a decent quarterback room with the Jaguars. But, hey, with that, that's about all we got for today. Packers free agency buzz. The free agency is just getting going in the NFL, and it is crazy right now. So with that, this has been Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you guys back here tomorrow. But until then, deuces.